In Taiwan, it's the last day of campaigning before the country holds its presidential election on Saturday. The election will determine the nation's attitude towards China for the next 4 years. The ruling Democratic Progressive Party is hoping to secure another term in office, but Beijing has warned that votes for the DPP candidate could threaten peace. Meanwhile, Washington claims that Beijing is trying to influence the results of the election through misinformation. Adam Hancock has more for us from Taipei. Adam, with polling less than 24 hours away, what more can you tell us about how this election is being viewed in China?
Well, they'll certainly be watching it very closely, like they do with all elections here. And they haven't held back, really, from putting out some pretty strong comments, saying that it's a decision for voters between war and peace. Now, it's no secret that the current Vice President, William Lai, who is the presidential candidate for the ruling Democratic Progressive Party, Beijing are not a fan of his. They call him a separatist, referring to some of his previous comments about Taiwan independence. Now, China still claims this territory as its own, and President Xi has talked about unification, and he's not ruled out unification by force. And in recent years, we've seen a number of military incursions in the Taiwan Strait. You might remember a few years ago when Nancy Pelosi visited Taiwan, and they stepped up drills around the island for a number of days. And even in the last week, in the last 24 hours, there have been reports from the Taiwan Defense Ministry of balloons coming across the Taiwan Strait from China. And this is something that Taiwan refers to as voter intimidation and psychological warfare. But expect plenty from Beijing in the coming days, because they certainly won't be quiet, whatever the result.
Adam, obviously attitudes to China are a big part in this, but what other main issues will voters be deciding on when they go to the polls tomorrow?
Yeah, clearly China is the main thing for voters. It's very hard to get away from that. Everybody that you speak to here has an opinion on it, has an opinion on which candidates will be best to handle the cross-strait tensions. But what has been interesting in this campaign is how younger voters have been looking for something a bit different, a candidate who talks about issues that relate to them on a day-to-day basis, like the economy here, which has been pretty stagnant, the low wage growth that's gone on, and also the high cost of living, particularly here in Taipei. And that's actually allowed a bit of a wildcard candidate, Ko Wen-she from the Taiwan People's Party. He's doing very well, we're led to believe, with younger voters who are looking for somebody who is not just going to talk about China, but talk about issues on a day-to-day basis. And he's apparently been polling fairly well. The last of the polls came out just before the blackout at the start of the year, and he was doing fairly well amongst younger voters and has been doing particularly well on social media as well. So whilst China still dominates proceedings here in the run-up to the election, there are certainly other issues, and younger voters are looking to talk about them.
Adam Hancock, live in Taipei. Thank you very much, and certainly one we'll be keeping an eye on tomorrow.